I'm not sorry. I was trying to rush.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Be the Media Huntington.
Told this lady to hold on. Oh,
Oh, it's January 15th, and we have all sorts of technical issues, but we're coming back to you. This is going to be a fun one for us tonight. So, as you could probably tell, well, you guys know it's me, it's Jenny Lee, and I have with me Miss Dana
hi guys.
and Lisa.
Oh, hello.
Lisa's camera's upside down, and we didn't have time to fix it for her before we went live, and we were already running late, and we haven't been on in a while. So we figured this would just be a blast. We'll just come here and this is it. So we have a stacked show for you guys tonight, a full hour of everything that's going on in Huntington. Hopefully it'll take your attention away from the national spotlight for a little bit so that you can stop thinking about all that chaos going on up there and start focusing a little bit more on what's going on in our town, because there's a lot going on in New York State as well as the town of Huntington. So right from the top, where do we guys want to go? There's so much. Did you know that Governor Cuomo wants to change the flag after 138 years? This flag, in Excelsior, the New York State flag, he wants to change. But not only that, he had a poster commissioned. I'm going to show you guys all this stuff. So let me go ahead and start by, what do you think about changing the flags?
I think it's just like him. It's asinine. Come on, the beach, Robert Moses, the bridge after himself. Come on, this is just getting a little ludicrous. I don't know what else to say. I really don't.
Did you see what he had commissioned?
No.
This one was great. All right, so I can share so that we can kind of get Lisa's upside down on the bottom now. This is awesome. So he commissioned this poster with him in the middle, of course. The New York State, the progressive capital. And it's interesting when you look at the details on this, you can, this is my favorite part. You see the cliff here? Well, I mean, they go up the cliff.
Yeah.
Clearly we're going off the cliff, but each step up the cliff is his progressive, and it says the steps to progress, building a new New York.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then here's the Sea of Division, right? The reefs of greed.
Where's Trump?
The squalls of hate.
Where's our president?
No, this state. We're getting away from national tonight.
Oh.
Tolerance, leadership, accomplishment, e pluribus unum, excelsior. So at least he's keeping the part of the flag that says excelsior. O mighty ship of state, to the shores of need, past the reefs of greed, through the squalls of hate, sail on, sail on.
Oh my God. Whatever.
So this is what he's spending your money on. And now he wants to redo this flag. So it makes you wonder if this is his vision for the new flag.
I don't know what else to say. I think it's stupid.
We got nothing. We got nothing.
I got nothing. It's stupid.
Dana, you got nothing?
No.
Nothing. Do you like our flag?
I think we should, the problem that we're having right now is the progressives are just trying to be so outlandish that it's just making everything that they do look extra crazy, and it turns a lot of people off.
But everything else is so great in the state of New York. I mean, crime is down. We have no criminals. Nobody's dying on the streets from repeat offenders. So they're so bored. They have nothing to do up there except for commission posters to be possibilities for a new state flag. See, they have nothing else worthy of their time.
I don't see why they would even entertain that. I would not vote for that. I don't think it's necessary. I don't. Other people may. But
yeah, I'm not into it at all.
Yeah, I'll pass on that one.
Well, it's interesting because there was this really great article I came across, and I think that a lot of the things that are being done are pretty much being done on purpose. It's to drive out. Did you guys come across this? Was put out by News Radio Wham 1180.
No.
It's an opinion piece, but it was worth the read. And I'll share it if you want me to, even though some people didn't like what I was sharing on the Huntington View. Can we talk about that for a second?
Oh, I did see
I
that.
will get back to that. I shared an article and somebody said it was very right-wing opinion, and I don't get that, but we'll get to that after we get to this because it leads in with the whole citizenship thing. So it's saying for the fourth year in a row, the state of New York has lost population, and there are people fleeing, and they're fleeing more from upstate than any other area in the state of New York. And I'm going to share this so people can read it. Andrew Cuomo had said there's no place in New York for those with whom he disagrees. He said this a while ago. The extreme conservatives, which with their Christianity and their Second Amendment, it was the statement of a policy. It was a declaration of an objective. It was a decree, and it's almost true with what we're seeing is happening. He punishes upstate and the way that they run it is like their own little metropolis. New York City gets they have all the votes that gets everything in, and yet they steal basically all their water, all their fracking, and everything else from the Finger Lakes region and all up in that area. And those are the people who are very not progressive. They're much more conservative minding. They do believe, Christianity, the Second Amendment, and all that stuff. When the New York Safe Act passed, there wasn't one county up there that supported it. So that just goes to show you, and it's a constitutional right. But I wanted to bring attention to this article. I think it's something that people would be interested in. It makes a sense that people are leaving New York to look for a better life because we can't afford it. And that's because Andrew Cuomo and the Democrats have screwed up the life here. And that's exactly the way the governor wants it. Because the more of the middle class he's able to get out, the easier it is to rule over the people who he has control over by being on the services that they love to give out. So I'll be sharing that one later. So I shared, and it was from the senate.gov, not .New York, and it was from John J. Laval, admittedly, but I agreed with the premise of what he had posted on. It wasn't like a right-leaning news article, or it wasn't biased. It came from the New York State Senate website, okay? And what he had said, he was saying that the Democrats had betrayed the tax-paying citizens of New York by passing the college for illegal immigrants. I agreed with the premise of the article. I shared it. And it was interesting because somebody came in and said that the Huntington View is supposed to remain neutral. Clearly, he has never watched us because we all have our own opinions and we're all very secure and open with what our beliefs are. And I found it really interesting that supporting the tax-paying citizen is now considered a right-wing talking point. How is that? Like, how, honestly, like, what did you guys think of that when you saw that?
I didn't think that it was right-winged. What I believe people interpret, well, first of all, it was leaning more when you read into it, it is leaning further away from the Democrats. I'll say that. But take into consideration that John J. Laval was he was the head of the Suffolk County Republican Party, and it came from the Senate, which is Republican. I can see why someone would call it right wing. Now, whether it's right wing, left wing, back wing, I don't care. The problem that I have is that for those of us who are citizens here, naturally born here, we're paying an arm and a leg. This is my kid's 4th year in college. They're leaving. I didn't get a lot of breaks. So I take offense to the fact that someone else is going to get the benefits that my children should have had right off the rip. And I'm a single mom. So you keep rewarding undocumented people, you're going to turn your citizens against you. Because what are you giving me as a citizen? I struggled to pay, and I mean struggled to keep these kids in school. And now I'm supposed to help you pay for someone who's already breaking the law by being here, they're undocumented. What are you trying to say to me as a legal citizen? Because I'm gonna tell you one thing. Do you think I can go to Mexico and do this? No. Could I go anywhere else except for the United States and tell people, you're going to pay for my kids to go to school, even though we weren't born here.
They'll laugh at you. And then
If
throw
don't
you
try
in
to,
jail.
yeah.
The world is so upside down. Look at Lisa. That's how
Like
upside
me.
down everything is. That's
Upside
why I
down.
said leave it. That's why I said leave it earlier, because the world is completely upside down with the way that the thinking that's going on here, that we have a responsibility to pay for everyone who's not here. We have put this, it's a bank, right? It's a bank. We worked, we put our deposits in. And we're getting yelled at for being mad that somebody who didn't put their deposit in is doing all the withdrawals.
And I think that that's the part that I think is wrong. I think both these extremists on the Democrat side and these extremists on the Republican side make everything out to be political. How about this is just simply not fair to citizens, whatever party you belong to? You know, for those of us who really have put children through school, and there's people, look at my parents, there's 3 of us that they put through college. They didn't get any help because both of my parents worked. So
Where's
you
your
get
refund? Where's your refund?
what refund? They
Well-
cut my daughter's. She used to get for the first 2 years, she was able to get a book voucher. She couldn't even get a book voucher. We had to lower her meal plan so she could pay for books. And now you want me to pay for somebody for free? Why didn't she get it? And she goes to a New York State school. I mean, it's not a public school, but it's still in New York State.
Oh,
I don't-
well, and don't you love the people that come in and want to tell you that it's one of my favorite lines. You're ignorant. You don't know what you're talking about, and you haven't read the bill. Because I know that when we started doing the driver's licenses, we were told, weren't we told? No, 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 no. This in no way will give anybody the right to vote. No, 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 no. This week they just passed a bill that they can. That's what they're doing now. So they're automatically going to be registering people who apply for driver's licenses to register to vote. Exactly what we said.
But
That's called
if
ignorant.
if you think about it, when you go put your paperwork in to get a license, that's on the back of it.
Right.
To register to vote. So why wouldn't they? You're just giving people who have willingly broken the laws of this land, whether you like it or not, it's our laws, it's our land, and you're smacking the citizens in the face. That's my opinion.
Well, it's in the name of fairness and equality.
That's not fair, nor is it equal. If you're gonna talk about fairness and equality, tell me about somebody's being, ostracized for gender, disability, ethnicity. Don't come and tell me about equality for someone who came under here. Even if you were suffering persecution, I'm not insensitive to that. But don't tell me that you're gonna get all the benefits that my ancestors died for, and I don't get anything. No, that's not that's not equality. That is,
You get the
not
bill because you're so lucky to live in this country that you should share it with other people.
no. I mean, I don't mind sharing, but my whole thing is I have to clean up my own. I can't help my neighbor if I can't help myself. How am I going to help somebody else if I can't do it, for my own family? That doesn't make any sense at all. And I read the young lady's post, and she was like, the article is misleading and you're not telling that you're being very ignorant. Something else she was saying. I just, she's never put kids through college, I assure you. And she probably has never had to have some of the things that those of us who have to actually pay for things, she probably doesn't even have a clue. Because like I said, regardless of what party it is, it's a slap in the face as a citizen. They ask you for so much. Remember when it was how to get your license and permit? We had to come up with everything.
Mhm.
If you're undocumented, what paperwork do you have?
Yep. Try to register for school. How difficult is that?
Hello.
Mhm.
Jenny, remember you and I talked about that. I have 5 kids in this district, and every single time one of them went, I had to show proof.
So did I.
I'm like,
The
we all
phone
live,
bill, the electric bill, this bill, that bill.
and they were very specific. They were very specific about what bill you could bring. Because
No, I know.
bill. So that's like, so what are these undocumented individuals bringing? Because they're undocumented. How do we know their history? How do we know that they're not violent offenders? How do we know that they're not sexual offenders?
Well, it doesn't matter today.
It
Because if
doesn't
they do,
matter.
they just get let out. So that doesn't matter either.
That's the segue we're definitely going for.
I don't agree with that. The bail reform,
Yeah, let me go ahead and grab. There's an amazing page.
Governor
And when,
Cuomo was so afraid of these people, these repeat criminals, he ran to Puerto Rico.
this is
Wow.
a public page. It's been up for maybe a week or so. Repeal the bail reform. There's 132,000 people on this Facebook page.
Yep.
And hourly, they could put these articles up. This guy, since New Year's, has robbed his sixth bank. Right? I think the most tragic one, let me get over to parents because I put that article. The most tragic one really happened here on Long Island with the Dewey that was on William Floyd Parkway. Our
Yeah.
friend Mary C drives this road every day. She and I were talking about it last night. He was out. This was his sixth felony. And I think what people are looking at when we're talking about the bail reform, they look at the name and they say, well, it's a bail reform law. And they accuse other people of reading it, or of not reading it, but they don't stop and say, what exactly is making this happen? And there's a lot of different variables. One of them is that the judge can no longer consider any priors. And because they can't take into consideration any priors, when you're looking at somebody who's out for the sixth time or the eighth time, so when the first one that I just showed you, the guy who had broken into he burglarized the bank 8 times since New Year's, every time the judge saw him, the judge was only allowed to know about that incident, not the 7 prior. So he gets out on no bail and gets back out. And it's interesting about this page, the reform page. Let me get back over here. This is the page. You should join it. A lot of people, a lot of information here. But there's people on here that are talking about when they got arrested and how getting arrested saved their life because they were held and it gave them enough time to sober up. It gave them enough time for the drugs to wear off. Because when you're breaking and entering, 9 times out of 10, you're doing it because you need the money, right? I know I'm scrolling through here. I'm trying to get you to, there's just so much. Like this woman on here talking about her cousin that was killed on Christmas Eve. It's every 5-10 minutes people are posting, and there's people over on one of those other Facebook pages that's saying that the media is sensationalizing this. The media is sensationalizing this,
But it's happening.
but it's happening.
It's happening. It's real life. Something
Right.
that they can't grasp. Real life.
They're saying no, this is hold on, parents. This is to even the playing field for rich people versus poor people. Warrant
People are probably out working and these criminals don't have a job.
Right. This guy had to be, they issued a warrant for him because, and this is exactly what's going to happen. He was on his whatever offense. Oh, I'm not even sharing it. Am I here?
No.
He was on his 6th offense, I think it was.
Oh,
He
yeah.
killed this young man in a Dewey, 27-year-old Jonathan Flores Maldonado on the William Floyd Parkway. Okay. He got out on the no bail, and now he didn't show up for his court date because that's what bail does. It gets you to show up. So he didn't bother to show. So now we're starting to see the fruits of this labor, of this law that they've put in. And it's showing that exactly if they do not have a vested interest to show up to court, why would they? Especially for a manslaughter charge. Would you?
I probably wouldn't be in jail for manslaughter because I don't drink and I definitely wouldn't drive. But, the media and a lot of people are exploiting what this whole issue is. Let me be clear. I am not a fan of the bail reform. I think if you are brazen enough to do the crime, then you should be held accountable. Sorry. And I don't agree with how they pushed for the economic disadvantage, putting that in the forefront. And then when you have the media, everybody who did something bad just happens to be Black. it's a nasty game that both parties play. And I think we should have left the system how it was. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but now we have repeat offenders. So if I know that a building is burning, and if I go into that building, I'm going to get burnt. Do you think I'm going to go in there? So, no, I'm not, because I know it's going to happen. So why, if you let me out, and I mean, people are getting licenses undocumented and everything else. I can probably fly under the radar and do whatever it is that I need to do to live life. I mean, if you're going to do the bail reform for individuals who have minor infractions, that I get, okay, because the system is overcrowded. But somebody with having a DUI, or somebody with charges of murder or voluntary manslaughter, but whatever the case may be, you need to keep them in there till their trial is there.
Just so you know, though, they're not all Black. This was the woman who's on our Facebook page, and she brought it up today, which is why I feel comfortable sharing it now. She was celebrating her sobriety. And the day after she posted on Parents talking about this, she had lost her daughter and her son-in-law in an auto accident. This man killed them, okay?
God.
He was wanted in Virginia. And he would, and I got to tell you, when New York let him go, guess what? Virginia stepped up to the plate and said, we want him back because he needs to answer for his crimes here. So at least Virginia took him. But this woman has been a mainstay on Parents of Huntington with us, and has gone through losing her daughter. What's really wrong with this picture on the bail reform is we shouldn't be reforming the bail system so that it's fair. He shouldn't be sitting in jail for a year awaiting a trial. That's what's really wrong, is the court system and because we keep electing attorneys and lawyers and all of those other things, they have a vested interest to get that next billable hour. So when they say, oh yeah, another proceeding, and Lisa, you've seen it, you've done court watching.
Yes.
Cases
my head, that's why my head is like, woo.
These cases go on forever, and they have no vested interest to actually fix the real problem. The real problem,
why would they fix it? They wouldn't have a paycheck.
Right, is the court criminal justice system moves slowly and makes those lawyers more money every time they got to show up for their client. That's what's really wrong. You're right. They shouldn't be sitting in jail. If innocent until proven guilty, 100%. I believe rich, poor shouldn't make a difference. You're innocent till proven guilty. We need to be able to expedite the system, because that woman shouldn't be waiting a year for justice, and that man shouldn't be sitting in jail for a year. But on the other hand, when you have somebody who is like the guy who was robbing all the banks, clearly this is either an issue with alcohol or drugs, right? He's robbing to get more money for his drug. So a little bit of cool down time, maybe a week, is going to help get those drugs out of your system and prevent you from getting back out on the street and doing it again. It's going to give you time to, and it might save your life. So I just think they're reforming the wrong thing completely. And we are now equally at risk.
Yeah, we need court reform. We need lawyer reform.
Absolutely.
Well, those people that I will assure you, those people who can't afford bail are not paying any attorney by the hour. They're using the judicial system to get the, pro bono lawyers. So
they're using court-appointed attorneys. That's what they're there for.
We can't apply that to getting paid by the hour. Unfortunately, we do have people.
They do. They get paid. We pay for them.
That's in the Miranda rights. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you. Right. Hello.
Okay, so if I was allowed to finish speaking, but we could all jump in as usual. We're going to talk about people who are paying lawyers by the hour. They're not going to care. They're going to be able to afford bail. The problem with the system is that we have so many people that are in jail for things that they shouldn't be in jail for. And then we have people who are in jail that, they are entitled to a speedy trial. But because we're so jam-packed in the judicial system, whether it's a pro bono attorney or not, that's where the problem lies. Like, why is somebody who's on a marijuana charge still in county jail for 6 months because he's waiting trial? It's a marijuana charge.
But those aren't the ones that they're releasing right now. We were told this was non-violent, not the marijuana. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, that I could
they're legalizing it.
Yeah, I could deal with that part. I'm not a fan of it, but I could deal with that. But these people that are getting out that there was a man who got out that punched women in the mouth, knocked out teeth.
No, wait, here,
Who
this
does
one.
that? And then you're gonna let him out?
I saved this one and put it on our page because this one really, really bothered me.
It's scary.
The grandma.
Oh, the one who got sexually assaulted?
And this one's a double whammy.
That's
Let
so
me
gross.
tell you, this one's a real double whammy because this one, you want to add insult to injury, shouldn't have been here, right?
Oh.
Let's be honest, shouldn't have been here. This guy, he's here illegally, right?
Oh,
He raped a 92-year-old woman.
why?
The sanctuary policy spared an undocumented Guyanese immigrant from deportation. This just happened yesterday. Left him on the street to rape and murder a 92-year-old Queens woman. And she was beloved, this woman.
Oh my Lord. Look, what could she have done?
Nothing. She was just,
To defend herself.
nope,
That is disgusting.
it is. And this is what's happening.
Mm-mm.
So it is a good thing that the Supreme Court recently ruled that some of the gun laws in New York are completely unconstitutional. Ladies, you can now own a stun gun. The Supreme Court has ruled that the New York ban on stun guns was unconstitutional. So please go out and get one because you're going to need to protect yourself. And I am hearing a lot of people now saying that they're just prepared to arm themselves and screw the gun laws. And since the criminals are being let out, there's a lot of people that are just ready to take matters into their own hands. So, I mean, we really are starting to create a completely lawless society where you're taking normal citizens who would not normally take up arms, who are ready to become criminals by obtaining illegal weapons to protect themselves, if not kill somebody, because the government is not doing what they're doing the exact opposite. They're making the situation completely worse.
That's so sad. And it's so dangerous because you have to be bad enough. You have to protect our families against, all kinds of things. Now you're adding the extra pressure on, if you were released from jail and now you're already robbing 6 banks.
I felt so helpless when my Lily turned to me and she goes, "How are you supposed to protect us then?"
He's right.
She's right. How am I?
He's 100% accurate. We can't even protect our own children. So
Because the police
we can't
response
protect
time.
ourselves. No, we can't even protect ourselves.
No, you come in my house, right? You break into my house. Let's pretend I have a legal handgun and I'm following all of New York State gun laws, right?
Mhm.
So this criminal breaks through my door. I'm going to say he's an illegal immigrant. Okay. Why not? So he breaks through my door and he clearly has an illegal AR-15 because he's not even a legal citizen because criminals don't follow rules. So he breaks through my door. My response time, I'm now going to run to my New York State compliant safe, right? I'm going to be so calm in this situation. I'm going to be able to calmly remember my combination and open it without shaking hands at all, right? I'm going to open this. I'm going to pick out my gun. I'm going to take the gun lock off the trigger safety spit, right? And then I'm going to go in the separate safe where I've been told I have to keep my ammo separate from my gun. I'm dead. By the time I haven't even opened my safe and I'm dead.
You were dead when you got to the safe.
Right. I didn't even make it up the stairs. And let alone have a chance to call the police whose response time is maybe 4 minutes. I'm going to be a lot better if I am right here, boom, boom, done. That's it.
And
So
don't forget, New York State law, you have to retreat to the farthest, I forgot the exact word, the farthest or safest place in the house.
And you have to shoot up in the air twice as a warning shot.
Before you, so I'm supposed to, like you said, so all that on top of now I'm going to shoot in the air and then I'm going to find the safest place. No, I'm going to bang you as soon as you go on my door and
Right.
I'll just have to suffer the consequences because at that point in time, it's your life or my family's life. And I don't know you. And you're already committing a crime by breaking into my home.
But you'll go to jail and you'll be charged with murder and you'll be charged with having an illegal, not properly stored gun.
Right.
No, all our guns are legal.
Well,
Maybe.
whether no, I'm not asking. We have a pretend scenario.
Oh.
I'm not asking. In fact, I don't want to know what you have.
Okay.
No one should know what us have. There is an element to conceal carry, and it's the element of surprise.
I believe in that as well.
So I don't think we should put a sign upside that says, hey, I'm a Second Amendment house, because they'll break in and try to steal them.
You'll probably lose your life doing that. And
Right.
I'll go to jail for the rest of mine. So we'll both lose.
Right.
America is the only place, and I've said this time and time again, that we try to cater to other people before we cater to our own people. And I think that's one of the reasons why Trump has such a strong following, is because he caters to America first. And he sees everyone else as second rate. And you're really supposed to take care of yourself first, so you can then help other people.
That's what they tell you on the airplane.
It's an airplane going down. You ain't my kid every
No,
man.
secure your own oxygen
Yeah.
mask first.
Yes, then you can help somebody else.
Right. Otherwise, you can't. You'll die first.
I don't, people, and they get so upset when you talk about things, and it's a reality. I don't, nobody just is gonna lay down and let you break into my home and I'm just gonna watch you take everything. No, I'm not gonna do that.
No, I'll kill them first before I let any of my family members live with that trauma for the rest of their lives.
I agree with you on that 100%.
I will go to jail. I will. And I think, and it's funny, I consider myself kind of normal, along that. And I'm hearing this more from other normal, typical people. And if there's people that are verbalizing it, there's people that are thinking it, doing it, and not talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm very logical, but when it comes to protecting my family, I'll do whatever needs to be done.
Absolutely.
100%.
100%. Oh, Dina, for the next part, I know that you wanted to highlight something. May I go to your wall and share some of your photos?
Sure.
I just wanted to ask that first. I know people get weird.
Sure.
So let me find them. Okay. All right, so we're going to take it over to Dina's wall, because I want to get to some town stuff really quick, because we only have about 20 minutes left. I can't believe it went that quick. This is ridiculous. So we're on Dina's wall, and Lisa's still upside down in the clouds. Dina, why don't you tell us a little bit about what happened with
Oh, yes. So Nick was honored for the Martin Luther King Award, and he was phenomenal. He spoke about the diversity in the schools and what the board was doing to improve. And he was, speaking about some of the challenges he had, and he just was really, to hear some of the things he's accomplished, really great. And he's very dedicated to the children of this community. And it's really odd, because you would think someone who doesn't have children wouldn't be as dedicated as, he really works hard. So it was well deserved. I was glad that I had the opportunity to attend. But let me just share this part with you. So do you guys remember when we would go to these events? Like we went to Jean's event, Andre's event, and Josh Price made it his business to come over and address me. Do you guys recall that? It's very awkward.
Very large belt buckles. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. So it was very awkward, but I handled it, accordingly. So it was interesting to see him amongst the town people. It wasn't as leisure. He was rude. He was rude ASF. I won't say it, but he was very rude. And then he kind of looked at me. Now, I'm the kind of person that if you vibe with me, you will always get the pleasant side. Always, no matter what. But if you rub me the wrong way, which he did, now you're on my permanent list.
Did he touch you?
No, he just was very
just want to make sure, because
no, he was very almost looking like, how dare you say anything to me?
All right.
But you were the one who was reading my friend's text messages talking about, how you wouldn't have a chance because she had something on. You were the one. So technically, you're the slime ball, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was really
No,
just.
well, I didn't say anybody's. It was my friend. I didn't say who, but
No, I'll own it. I'll own it. Josh, I know you watch. I was really upset by that.
who does that? Like, who says that to a woman
Who's
after
Mary?
repeating
Who's-
over her shoulder till she said something to her friend, and then you say a slime ball comment like that? You're lucky that I even acknowledge you, because truth be told, I don't know anyone in their right mind who stands around and is proud that people call you the hatchet man. Who does that?
Well, I'm gonna grab something real quick since we segued there, and I was totally unprepared that we were gonna go there for that moment. But there was a town board meeting. Thank you, Data. Oh goodness. Here we go. Since we're talking about him, we might as well show who he is and what happened and why. They wanted to, well, yeah, I mean, this just came up. I never really share from this particular publication. But this again is very current. It came out yesterday. And the Huntington Town Board Monday rejected the appointment of Josh Price as the director of the new Bureau of Administration Adjudication, because they're trying to make their own like court thing.
Yeah, that sounds really bizarre, like something made up.
Yeah, and he would be like in charge. But
Of
he's
what?
not,
So
be like in charge of the court.
So you want to put the hatchet man in charge of a judicial system? Bad enough we have to deal with him as a lawyer.
Well,
right?
Jane Cook, Mark Cuthbertson, and Joan Circle all voted against him.
And he was a fool to even think that they would not. He is no friend to the Democratic Party. He is no friend to Cuthbertson. So that he left Smith and Lupinacci. So you knew you were going to lose anyway.
Who created that little?
Well, they did. They
thing?
created this whole new thing, and then they wanted to put him in charge of it.
Why? He is the most unpleasant human being that I've come across in a very long time. I would rather sit in a room with Gene Cook than sit in a room with him. I would take Gene's ruling over his, and we all know how I feel about that situation.
I just think he needs to stay away from magnets with those big belt buckles.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
scary.
I couldn't believe that article when I saw it, and I couldn't believe that they would even consider. It makes you question the sanity of those people trying to put him in other places. You already gave him a critical job of hiring and firing, and he does that in the most horrific way possible, and he brags about it. He stands tall.
Just for the record,
his shoulder.
Don't you want it noted for the record, though? If we were a right wing and the voice of the right wing, wouldn't we be all in on this? Like, oh yeah, it's just another Republic. We need the power in this place. We come here and we clearly say no. Some things aren't right, regardless of party. Some things just aren't.
And we all three have very different opinions about a number of things. So to think that we would all think one way. But here is something else. Everybody's always saying that the new administration is only bringing in Republicans, blah, blah, blah. Let's be honest. When you have, in politics, every administration brings in their people. That's just how the game goes.
That works.
The problem that we have is that the people that they're bringing in are not qualified. And they should not be in the positions that they're in. If you're going to hire Republicans that are not just, horrific human beings. How about that? What about, what's his name? What is his name's Leonick's wife? What is he doing? How did she get a job? She's the assessor. What is her qualifications? Where did she come from? We have to, that's what they need to change.
Well, they're not gonna. The only thing it changes is going to be the party in power. And then once they get the power back on that side, they appoint their people, qualified or not. Whoever went out and stole the most lawn signs, whoever went out and did the dirty work, whichever lawyer represented them to help get signatures thrown out for the other guy, that's the guy I'm going to give a nod for the lawyership. They're going to keep doing this. And there's no reason, there's no benefit for them to stop. This is their currency.
This is
This
why we
is
have
their
so much
currency.
cover up and so much corruption.
Right.
Makes me sick.
It's an upside down world, Lisa.
It sure is. And speaking about me, let me just dive right into that polluted water, like
Yes.
the whole township of Huntington. 100% toxic. Let me have a taste.
No.
Wait, how am I going to go in? Oh, this way. Boink.
I'm so sorry. I don't mean to cough. And I do want to make sure that we hit on that. You're absolutely right, Lisa, because we only have about 10 minutes left. How does this, did somebody fast forward my timer?
I think so, because we started late.
Oh, we were only like 5 minutes late, but we didn't even fix
We
the-
need our 5 minutes. We
Yeah,
need it.
I'm sorry, guys. We needed it. That chicken was good. Okay, so it's a good chicken.
We needed that.
Northport Middle School. I can't believe they're not getting the fair coverage, the fair deal. I can't even believe this is still an issue. Lisa, tell us. I mean, I know you were away. You had this wonderful vacation. I told you to stay off social media, but you jumped right in on this topic because I know that, you know, cancer's a big deal with you. But while you were gone, they found that there was a mercury level of 632 recorded when the normal level is like 3.57 or something like that. You know what I think we need to do? I've had a hard time getting the girls to come on. I think what we need to do, if you guys wouldn't mind, maybe have Patrick on to explain this whole thing, because this is totally his area of expertise in this. When he gets into the layers of finding out what the land used to be, what used to be there, what chemical compounds, he has a real niche for it. But Lisa, why don't you tell us what, you know?
Well, if you want to make it really short, since we really don't have much time, the land, the air, the inside of the building, mold, it's toxic. We are living, that is pretty much ground zero for cancer and all kinds of other unmentionables. I don't know who's trying to cover it up more, the superintendent, the whole entire board, the VA hospital even. You have men in hazmat suits.
Wait,
Okay, I know it might be part of, you know, protocol, blah, 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 you know, to go to a school and clean up in your hazmat suits. And then they have a protest and the parents and some of the kids wear hazmat suits and people have a problem with it. What's
This
the
is an
problem?
actual photo taken at the school of the man in the hazmat, one of them.
Right.
But
Some people were saying, oh, they're just in hazmat suits because it's protocol. No, I don't believe it's just protocol. I believe they don't want to get cancer.
Exactly. They don't want to catch. First of all, I don't understand how they're separating it in the building. No kid should be in that building. They should relocate.
But there are parents that don't believe there's anything wrong. This is just hype. This has been going on for 50 years. There is documentation after documentation. People like Patrick and the other people who are doing research. You know, there's where am I? There's documents this thick of I just
Lisa.
definitely not enough time to talk about it. But
So what my plan with them is to try to get us to set aside a day just for them, because there's so many of them and the issues are so great. But what happens with these groups, as we all know, is the infighting starts, unfortunately, because everybody has a different vision of how to reach the goal. And when it comes to the kids, it becomes an even more sensitive matter.
yeah.
And so people get very emotional. So
Kids are sick, Jenny. They
I
have
know.
chronic headaches. There's a rare type of leukemia that is based off what the hell is floating around in that school, what they're breathing, what they're touching, what they're drinking. It's disgusting. It's the soil they're standing on.
Yeah.
It's leaking.
Why
and
can't
it's toxic.
Why can't they remove the kids from the building?
Why can't they? That's the $1 million question. Why can't you relocate them? There is enough abandoned real estate. But you know what? If the superintendent, if the board, if even the VA, if they, in my opinion, if they admit to all of this, if they admit to the cover up,
Opening themselves to liability. Yep.
not only that, but you know, that perhaps they are they're going to be responsible for lowering the market value of these people's homes. And you know, what's more important,
That is
your value of your
that is-
house or your kid's life?
no,
What's more
yeah,
important? I don't know.
yeah,
The value of the house.
yeah. And then if the school moves the kids, they're admitting that there was something wrong. So it opens them up then if this was to go to court, which they already are in a pile of possible liability here. But if they move the kids, then they can stand up in a courtroom and say, and they admitted their guilt when they moved the kids.
Well,
Right.
I mean, for me, it would be more logical for you to say, for the administration to say, we don't know what's going on. We're testing everything now to be safe. We're going to remove the kids, not saying that it is or isn't, but to be safe, we're going to relocate them until we have concrete evidence. This way, if it comes back that something is in there, which clearly, if you have documents this big stating something's wrong, then they could say, well, I'm happy that we acted as we did and moved them. And if it comes back that it's not, then it was just simply a precaution. So,
They're
but
just
by
sitting on
you
their thumbs.
to let
They're
them
just
go
sitting on
there
their thumbs.
is crazy.
I
And
know.
then I heard that they just closed down 3 rooms. If it's in the air, I mean, do
So
they wear spaceships?
They tested outside, right? They tested the outside when the kids are smelling everything inside, and it's when the heat is on or the AC is blowing is when the odors are at their highest.
When it's too cold or when it's too hot, there's a problem.
Which is almost always.
Every day. Now the superintendent, he's not in that building every day.
No, he's not.
He doesn't go in that school from sun up to sundown. The members of the board that are sitting on their thumbs, they're not in that school. Who's in the school? The teachers who are afraid to say anything, obviously, and the kids.
That's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I don't know how that is even allowed to go on.
Northport, it just seems like it is just a toxic breeding ground, and no one wants to talk about it.
And it's so toxic, but it's so expensive to live there.
I know.
So
I'm paying to die early? No, thank you.
And they still don't have the thing going on with LIPA. She's really.
Let's start that up again, and let's just let's all drink the tap water.
No, I rather no. My mother said I can't drink the tap water anymore.
Well, your mother's right.
I'm just kidding, but no. If you taste the tap water from here, it's disgusting. When you brush it, remember I told you guys I didn't know. Remember Lisa used to always say that everybody thought she was crazy.
I still say that it tastes like shit. Excuse me.
And when I went to Massachusetts, I was like, "What is?" And then I came back. I was like, "Ew."
It's
disgusting. Yeah, once you get away from the shit water for a while, and you're using clean water, and you come back and you're like, "Wow, it really is kind of gross."
And the water on the cruise tasted better than my water.
There's days when you go in the shower and it feels different. You know.
Yeah. And that's another thing. And somebody was telling me, "Oh, we have hard water." What does that mean?
It's not hard sometimes, it's soft to others.
Exactly. What are you talking about? Because when you go to another state and you wash and you get out the shower, you feel different. And then you come home.
Go upstate.
Yeah, upstate too. Because my daughter's in college there. It's very different. Very different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna go take a bath after this.
I would.
It's gross.
Just jump in. Just jump in, Lisa. Just stand up. Oh my God. Ridiculous. So many people are going to be laughing at us tomorrow, but that's okay. Hey, listen, we're here to bring you content, even if we got to do it hanging from the rafters.
Driving in cars, going on blank screens, being in the ocean upside down, doesn't matter.
Upside down.
We're dedicated.
It is what it is. Oh, goodness. I still have that Huntington's disease that has everyone down. I thought I got over it. Both my girls are down sick again.
That's another thing. I get so angry at these parents. My son, who's in Solacewoods, this child literally catches everything. He's been home today, 2 days down, fever 102 with a crazy stomach bug. And then he wasn't, going to the bathroom. So my mother was like, we might have to give him a suppository in his buttocks. So I was like, I'm not. Well, we might have to, but you're going to have to do
buttocks, Georgina.
My mother,
I love her.
Very might have to get him in his buttocks.
Well, that's another thing. I mean, laugh aside, you're not allowed to send your children to school if they
Right.
have a fever, if they're vomiting, if they have diarrhea, I guess. But
But they do.
you're allowed to send them to Northport Middle School when it could kill you.
Yeah, my kid wouldn't be there. I'd homeschool them for that. I wouldn't be able to I wouldn't be able to sleep at night knowing if I didn't know, that's one thing, but knowing what is out there, that's even a possibility. I would have to homeschool my kid.
Yeah,
Or
knowing and choosing it's a completely
that's very
matter.
it's unfair. And then my thought process is how this is not a new phenomenon. How long has this been going on? And just people have been sweeping it under the rug.
50 years.
That's crazy. So how
Then
many?
you've got LIPA, then you've got the grounds at LIPA, you've got the grounds at the VA. It's a toxic mess. This is like a sci-fi movie. Honestly, I'm not kidding. This is like a sci-fi movie. You can't make this stuff up.
And then they wonder why we have so much cancer. No?
No, I think that's part of the whole eugenics. Sorry. They need a population control. There's certain things they keep around, and cancer is a big business. But before we go, so we only have a couple more
Growing
minutes.
horns
So
out
we
of our
don't have
head.
time to get into that other discussion item. So we'll just do a quickie on a Netflix, if that's cool.
Mhm.
So I wanted to get into the other one, but we definitely need more time for that. Netflix debuts Gilgo Beach Killer movie filmed on the North Fork.
I think
This
it airs
January 28th.
28th.
Yes.
Oh, 28th. Okay, I thought it said
Yes.
22nd.
So I
28th.
guess we're totally going to watch this because we know how it relates to Huntington and Suffolk and all the corruption.
James Burke, and now we're at town, and now we're a Suffolk executive.
And I'm understanding the FBI is like looking into this one. So
They would, because Burke and Spoda, all of them are incriminated now. So Burke went to jail. Spoda,
was just convicted.
So
wasn't
they have
Spoda blocking the FBI when they were here?
Yeah, but now
last time
they have to reopen it because they have. If he was corrupt in that case, how many other cases was he corrupt in?
Oh my God!
Well, when you're involved, you want to block the FBI, right? You don't want to get caught.
The fact that they wouldn't let the FBI come in, I mean, I think they should start looking into all the other cases that were handled by Burke. Which ones were retaliatory and which ones were legitimate?
And then you have to check Spoda too, because what else did he cover up? And it goes down the chain of command because it doesn't stop there. Because that's the good old boy club with Schaefer, Malone, all of them. So now we need to go and see exactly what's been going on since those two have already been convicted.
They tried to have Gary off. Gary Melia shot in the eye, boom, right outside his castle. Do you know that was sent in as a murder for hire by one of them with everything that was going on?
They're bad dudes. So many of them.
That's how that went down. But either way, aren't you glad we're back?
Wasn't somebody in their car trying to do something to themselves too?
Well,
no, that was
that was the guy that did
Calamusi.
Yeah, Calamusi, who owned the thatched cottage being redone. That he woke up and he had all the gas around him. He said somebody did that to him. But so aren't you guys glad we're back? Because I have to say, anybody who's watching us right now, or anybody who made it through the whole show, with all the content that's out there that's available for you, we appreciate all the time that you come and spend with us, for us to bring you this content. We hope we do provide you some good content, with a little bit of entertainment and fun in between, because we do this for our own sick perversions, I guess. I have no idea at this point. So Dina and I are going to go help Lisa fix herself right now. We hope to see everyone next week. All right.
Bye, guys.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
We hope everyone enjoyed tonight's Huntington View. Have a good night, everyone.